Hello and welcome to this Edxcel GCSE Geography Walking Talking Mock on weather and climate. The aim of these is to improve your confidence in reading and interpreting the exam questions to give you the best chance of success in your exams. As always, please read carefully through these notes so you know how best to use this video. You can pause this video and then play it when you're ready to go. So we're looking at section B, weather hazards and climate change, and all elements of section B are compulsory. You don't have a choice in these, so you must answer all of these questions. So make sure you read all of the information that you have available in front of you that's on the exam paper so you don't miss anything. The UK's climate experiences significant variations. State one natural cause of climate change in the past. Now this is very important that we look at the command words and the key terms of the question. The command word is state, so it's a very basic, simple answer. Don't need to develop it, just a couple of words is all that's you're needed. You only need to give one of these and a natural cause. So we're not looking at anything human and we're looking at climate change in the past. So it's 1 mark and you have to think, well, why has the climate changed? What has led to the glacial and interglacial periods in the past? Pause the video when you're ready and have a go now. So the next question is asking, state 2 sources of evidence for natural climate change in the past. So again, it's a state command word, so it's very basic, but here we have to give 2 different sources. So we're looking for what can we see that would prove that climate change has happened in the past. And if we're looking at the natural climate change, then we probably want to look at the evidence that gives us evidence for the past sort of over 200 or 300 years ago, before human had a massive impact on climate change. So again, pause the video, have a go now. So let's have a look at the possible answers that were given in the mark scheme for this. You can see here that we've got, it's just 1 mark for any of the following. So it might be changes in the Earth's orbit, known as Milankovitch cycles. You only need to give 1 point of those. Solar variation or volcanic eruptions. But you cannot give anything that relates to human causes. So it's important that you look at the focus and the restriction of the question to make sure you're giving the right information in there. As we move on to the 2 marker, we can see then that what we have, 1 mark for each correctly identified source. So it could be anything from ice cores, pollen records, dendrochronology, if you can spell that one, or any other historical sources that go back more than a couple of 100 years. Now again, it's worthwhile, if you've got these right, tick them, but also add the other answers that you could have given as well. The next question, study figure 7 in the resource booklet. So first thing we do before we even look at the question is have a look at the resource. And here we can see that we have this map of the UK with lots of bits of information in there. And it basically makes sure you read the title. Map showing rainfall and other climatic variables for locations in the UK. So as we have a look here, we can see we've got annual rainfall, the average temperature, and the altitude. So we've got a number of different factors. We've also got this chloropeth shading here that gives us the total annual rainfall in these different areas, and we've got information on the prevailing wind. So if we go back to the question very quickly, calculate the range of average temperatures for the 4 locations in figure 7. So it's important that you will be expected to know some basic math skills. This will include things such as range, median, mode, and so make sure that you are transferring your maths skills over to here. So if we're looking at the range, what we need to do is look at the highest and the lowest and make sure that you get the right figure. So we're looking at average temperatures of the 4 locations. So we look on here, we look for the highest and the lowest temperatures. So we look down here, we can see that the highest is Norwich with 14, the lowest is here, and you take the small one from the big one, and that would give us our range. Because it's only worth 1 mark, you don't need to show any working out, but the question will tell you if you do need to show working out. Moving on to the next question. The prevailing wind, which is shown in figure 7, influences the climate of the UK. Explain one way prevailing wind affects the climate of the UK. So it's an explain question. Okay, so you need to give reasons. You need to use connectives such as this means that, so therefore this leads to causes. The prevailing wind. So where does the prevailing wind come from on that diagram? Show me, or show the examiner, that you've looked at the diagram. And how would that prevailing wind affect the climate? Now what's really important is this is worth 3 marks. So we need to state what the prevailing wind is, and then we need to develop that answer twice. So making sure that we're getting the points for the 3 different marks. Okay, so I'll just show you the information on here again. Prevailing wind. The prevailing wind is coming from the southwest. So have a go at answering the question now. So as we mark those 2 questions, the first one, the range 14 minus 0.5 equals 13.5. It's as simple as that. For the explain one way, so you're only giving one way, you don't want to give 2 different reasons. And you need to link different areas of the information. So map shows larger amounts of precipitation in the west because the prevailing winds brings moist air from the southwest, which rises over land and condenses. So you're not having to write everything in detail, but you're trying to show that you are extending your answer. So what does the map show us? Well, the map shows us that locations in the east have higher temperatures. That's 1 mark. Then you link that to the prevailing wind and give the reason for that. So what does the map show you? What is the prevailing wind? What is it? How does it affect it? And what does that cause? How is it linked?